Yo. Uh, so first off, I don't really have uh, a set time that I plan to be on here. I am hoping to make it more regular and more consistent as I continue to do this more and more. I do want to express right off the bat that I am planning to do this Monday through Friday, minimum 5 minutes a day. You may not care, but that's for me, holding myself accountable, um, learning to, uh, not even learning, but continuing to hold myself accountable for the things that I say and do. But what I want to do today, and then you guys can let me know if this is something you enjoy, I'd appreciate it, is I have the traditional tarot here, and I'm just going to draw a card. This could be for you, this could be for the collective. My intention is just to provide a message. Now, mind you, this isn't something I'm masterful at. This is just something that I like to do because sometimes it can provide answers or information or perspective that maybe I wasn't aware of for myself or others, right? So I'm just going to lay these out here. I'll kind of, this is what we're looking at. Oh, maybe, ta-da. Terrible view. Anyways, I'm just gonna draw one and we'll kind of go through it together. Give me a second here. And while I'm shuffling these, I invite you to ask a question or set an intention. You can like or subscribe. That also transfers energy and it allows that energetic transmission. So, okay, this is the one. We're looking at 5 of Pentacles. 5. First off, let's go with that. That's what comes to mind for me immediately. Numerology is, I love numerology, and we'll talk more about it on the channel. But 5 is change. 5 can also mean adventure. Now, I kind of have the cheater deck, right? It tells me all what the card is. Before I even read it, I just like to look at it. Of course, we know pentacles. Pentacles are the tangible, right? Often associated with like materialistic. So you can see the 5 pentacles up here in the window. One thing that stands out. Hey, what's up, man? Nice to see you here. What is that? Sorry if I mutilate this. Kardaki. Good to have you here. But what I notice in this card is we have 2 people here, right? Underneath the 5 of Pentacles, underneath that prosperity, potentially. Now, I do want to read the card here because it did come up upright. Okay, so in tarot, you can read it upside down or upright, depending on how it comes out, if you like to read that way. But essentially, what we're looking for in the 5 of Pentacles, and this is just something, like I said, a daily draw. What it can be associated with is financial loss, lack of faith, a lack mindset, isolation, worry, defeat, loneliness, need, poverty, insecurity, fear, low self-esteem, right? A lot of negativity in this card. But it doesn't mean that life is negative. This could just be something, a phase, right? Maybe you have to go through these things first before you're able to receive the prosperity, the love, the good relationship, the good energy within yourself. Because ultimately, if we fall into this 5 of Pentacles, it could be something within ourselves, and more than likely, it's something within yourself that keeps you from receiving prosperity, financial gain, the faith in self, a positive mindset and growth mindset instead of the lack mindset. So again, like I said, this is just the card that I drew for today. Wanted to share that with y'all. If it resonates, great. If it doesn't, leave it at the door. It wasn't for you. But the reason I come on today is because I want to share something with you. Share something about how life can be truly beautiful if you choose to see it that way, right? We live in the dimension of intention. And whether we are aware of it or not, when we have a mentality or a perception on something, oftentimes it's going to be true. right? There's a saying and it says, those who think they can and those who think they can't are both correct. If you say, I can't do it because of intelligence, my age, my skills, what I know or what I don't know, because a teacher told me so, you're probably right. You probably won't do it. And I mean that with love, because it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? I can't get in shape because my grandma was diabetic. Okay? And doesn't mean that you have to be that. It means that you can choose different, right? In addition to that, those who say they can probably will. Every person that we look up to, whether this be an athlete, a teacher, a professor, somebody knowledgeable, somebody that we elect into our office, right, as a leader, they have something in themselves that says, I'm going to do this. Champions don't just suddenly become champions because they say, yeah, maybe one day. No, they work their butts off for it every day, in and out, and they never give up on themselves. They don't ask for people to say, hey, you're a champion. No, they believe it within themselves, and they become the champion through their daily actions and ability to receive that, to believe that it's possible, right? So the mind is really powerful when it comes to allowing ourselves to either block something or hold our hands open and receive it. And that's the story I want to share. So today, I was a part of a program. It's called Full-Time Purpose. If you've never heard of it, definitely look it up if you're looking for growth. And by no means am I sponsored or anything. I just love Aaron Dowdy and Victor Odo. They've helped transform my life in many, many ways by just offering education and being present. So with that being said, today we were in a seminar, and I was given an opportunity to sit in front of almost 500 people and express a part of myself and get some on-the-spot coaching. And it was really powerful because if you don't know this mark here, this is from the show Berserk. If you've never seen Berserk, watch it. You're gonna love it. But this is the mark of sacrifice, and it's something that I wear because I find that wearing this gives me an opportunity to receive. It opens up my field and says, I'm ready. And today I was given multiple opportunities to witness that energy. I don't want to jump into it too much, but essentially I was given that opportunity to sit in front of almost 500 people on camera and be asked questions that helped me dig into a deeper reason of why I've been struggling financially. I've been struggling with mental health stuff for many years. Not so much anymore. I've really done a lot of work on that, which I'm grateful and proud of. But essentially what it is that there is a fear, right? And you may relate to this. I'm going to be vulnerable here, but you may relate with the possibility of being seen, right? You might be fearful of people coming on camera with you and judging you, or being seen in a way that is vulnerable and exposing, right? Sitting on camera talking to strangers can be pretty exposing, especially when there's that shield of the phone, right? People say whatever the heck they want to on camera or through text, excuse me. So there can be some vulnerability in that. But my question for you is, what other areas of life are you scared to be seen in, right? And this is a question for me as well, but if there's areas in your life that you're fearful of being seen, right? How are you in your relationships? Are you vulnerable and open, or are you guarded and maybe avoidant in your tendencies of expressing yourself? And if that's the case, who told you that your feelings and thoughts were too much at one point, or that you don't deserve to be seen? Because oftentimes it doesn't come from ourselves saying, I'm unworthy, right? When you were a child, when you were a baby, you were enough. You knew that food was going to come to you. You knew that if you had a dirty diaper, someone was going to change it for you. You knew that if you verbalized and vocalized your needs, even though you were just crying, you were provided for. So what's changed? What has changed in that dynamic of you believing your own self-worth? right? Worthy of being seen, worthy of being heard, worthy of being nurtured, worthy of being cared for, worthy of being loved. What areas of life and what situations in your life maybe shifted that? Because I want to tell you, human to human here, that you're enough as you are right now in this very moment. But I can't change what you believe, right? That's an internal belief that you can work on if you choose to. And the beautiful thing is that as you begin to open yourself up to receiving and you begin to open yourself up to the idea that you can have literally whatever you want, life begins to shift. And you'll be tested, right? There's always a test. You say, I'm done scrolling on TikTok every day. I'm done spending 5 hours on YouTube every day. But then you're tested. The little ego, the little devil on the shoulder. Oh man, we should check YouTube. We should go and, what if we just spend 5 minutes? What if we just do it, right? Oh, it'll be all right. We can start tomorrow. We can do it tomorrow. But what if you started now? What if you started believing now and doing things now that your future self will appreciate? Because guess what? If you don't change today, today will become tomorrow very rapidly. And the thoughts you have today will probably be thought tomorrow as well, right? So those unworthy thoughts, those unlovable thoughts that I'm unable to be seen or heard, those thoughts will bleed into the next day and then the next day and the next day. And before you know it, you're living the same life you lived 10 years ago today. Or maybe that's already the case for you. Maybe you are already living the life that you've been living for 10 years. Same thing, day in, day out, monotony, 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 Groundhog Day, right? You don't have to live that. You can be open to receive. You can be open to letting go of control and the mechanisms that keep you safe, right? Comfort isn't safe. Comfort doesn't last either, because eventually the universe is going to shake up your life and make you change. If you're above the age of 30, what were the ages of 28 to 32 like for you? If you're above the ages of 60, what were the ages of 58 to 62 like? The reason I ask this is because I said comfort doesn't last. And the reason is because Saturn, the planet of karma and lessons, it makes one full rotation around the sun every 30 or so years. And when we were born, Saturn was in a particular location. Every 30 years, 28 to 30 years, Saturn comes back to that location in which we were born. And it teaches us a lesson over the past 30 years that we've lived. So, and we call this a Saturn return, right? Some people will call it a midlife crisis. But it's a Saturn return. Saturn is there to shake up life. And, the universe is not opposed to throwing a brick at your face to get your attention. Pain is an excellent teacher, and I've said this before. If you're experiencing pain right now, look at it from a different perspective instead of saying, oh, poor me, oh my gosh, this is so bad, how could it do this to me? Poor me, I'm a victim. You're not a victim, you're a creator. You're that powerful. You're not a victim. But when you choose to look at yourself as a victim, that just means that you relinquish your part in the way your life is. If you say life is crap, well, why is it crap? What are you doing to make it better? Pull up your screen time. How many hours a week do you have on your phone? Scrolling endlessly. That's not a victim, that's a choice. You're choosing to do that. You can do other things, but you can't play victim and then not do something to change your life. That's manipulating yourself. You're gaslighting yourself to think that you're not in control, when you are in control of very few things. And one of those things is you, your mindset, what you think, what you feel, how you respond, and how you treat yourself and others. Everything else, life is going to happen, but you have control over those things. And what you do day in and out, guess what? You're in control of that. So if you choose to do nothing, that's on you. If your life is the same in 5 years, that's on you. And I don't mean this to judge or criticize or anything. I say this with love, because oftentimes the people around us will enable our behaviors that keep us small. And I want to see you succeed. I want to see you grow. I want to see you become the very best version of yourself, because you deserve that. If you're here right now watching some random dude talk online and you resonate with what I'm saying, we've lived the same story. You're here for a reason, and you're listening to what I'm saying for a reason. I just want to let you know and remind you that there's no coincidences. Nothing is by accident. Everything is orchestrated and planned. The fact that you are here, there's a potential that you and I agreed to this well before we were ever human. And it gave us an opportunity for this exchange to happen, this energetic moment to happen, where this floating head on camera is talking to you, talking to your soul. It may not make sense to this thing, but I know there's a resonance within your body that says yes. So with that being said, wherever you are on your journey, be open to receive. Be open to receive the blessings that the universe has in store for you. Because I'm telling you, as soon as you allow yourself, you give yourself permission to say, I am ready. I receive, I accept, I am worthy, I am enough, I've done enough, I do enough. I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to work for love. I don't have to work to be seen. I don't have to work to have prosperity or to be taken care of. I am enough, and I am provided for. And I am the creator of my universe, and my creation is beautiful, and it's that of peace, and it's that of prosperity, and it's that of joy and compassion and gratitude. You can choose that life. But I can tell you now, if you're doing this, if you're white knuckling and holding on to something, you won't be able to receive, because you're holding on to something that is no longer in alignment. And if you feel that forceful nature, you have to wake up in the morning and force yourself to go to work every day. If you have to force yourself to be in a relationship with someone that you don't like anymore, if you have to force yourself to be something that you're not in alignment. Let go of those things that drain you. Let go of the things that cause you pain and disrupt your peace. Because when you came here to this planet, during this time, your natural state was peace. You didn't come out of the womb worrying about bills and money. You didn't come out of the womb worrying about where your next meal is coming from. You came out of the womb enough as you are in that moment. And here's the thing about releasing and letting go and choosing to receive. Birth is never painless, and birth is never clean, right? Your mother went through excruciating pain to birth you onto this planet. And when you came out, you weren't pretty. You were covered in all the stuff. Pretty gross, honestly. But that is the birthing process, right? It's painful and it's messy. So accept it. Accept the pain for what it is, and let it mold you. Let it melt you down into mush, like a butterfly, like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Become the mush and rebuild yourself. You are worthy to receive. And I invite you to make that decision today, to give yourself permission to receive, to give yourself permission to say, I am enough. Right now, without having to do anything. You are enough. Anyways, I'm going to cut this short here. 20 minutes short, right? But I hope that you have a great day. I want to say thank you for showing up. And if you made it this far, you know the deal. Like, subscribe, share. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you like. If you like the tarot, or if you resonate with this Five of Pentacles, let me know. If you like the astrology, know I do soul blueprint readings. I offer numerology, astrology, and human design, all compacted into one cohesive blueprint to maybe give you some insight on what it is that you're here to do, what your relationships look like, maybe how you make money or the best suited career, uh, your mental sphere of influence, how people perceive you. We can dig in deep. So just check out in my bio. It's the dot card link. All of my other stuff in there is also, there's a lot of free things as well. Check out my art, check out my journals, check out my Facebook page where I post every single day, 7 days a week. Yeah, let me know what you think. I'm here for it. So again, I want to say thank you for showing up today. Thank you for your energy and your presence. And if you stayed this long, like I said, give me a like, give me a subscribe, let the algorithm know that you enjoy what I have to offer. And I will see you next time. Peace. Love you.